In the heart of a small, eerie town known as Willow Creek, there stood an old, creaky building that had long been the domain of the town's undertaker, Mr. Finnegan. With its weathered wooden sign swaying gently in the breeze, the establishment was both intriguing and a little unsettling. Mr. Finnegan was no ordinary undertaker. He had a special talent for crafting personalized coffins that were as unique as the lives they celebrated. The townsfolk whispered about his talents, saying he could capture the essence of a person in the delicate curves of wood or the intricate carvings on the lids. Some coffins featured engraved flowers that represented a loved one's favorite blooms, while others displayed symbols of hobbies or passions, like musical notes for musicians or books for avid readers. Despite its creepy appearance, Mr. Finnegan's shop had a peculiar charm. Inside, the air was filled with the scent of pine and cedar, accompanied by soft candlelight that flickered against the dark walls. Shadows danced playfully, creating an atmosphere that felt both alive and otherworldly. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting elongated shadows across the cobblestone streets, Mr. Finnegan prepared for yet another night at work. Little did he know that one particular coffin would soon bring him face to face with an unusual tenant, a ghost who had its own unique way of handling rent. In this town where whispers of the past lingered, every corner held secrets waiting to be uncovered. One chilly evening, as Mr. Finnegan meticulously polished the surface of a particularly intricate coffin, an unusual idea struck him. He had often thought about the significance of honoring those who had departed from this world. What if he could use his craft to symbolize their ties to the living? With that thought, he decided to engrave "Rent Due" on the lid of the next coffin he crafted, believing it would serve as a reminder that every life has its dues, even after death. This phrase, though unconventional, held deeper meaning for Mr. Finnegan. In his mind, it represented a connection between the past and present, a way for loved ones to acknowledge that just because someone had passed away didn't mean they were entirely gone. Instead, they lived on in memories and stories shared by the living. By inscribing "Rent Due," he felt it would remind families to celebrate their loved ones, ensuring their memories remained vibrant and cherished. As he worked late into the night, carving each letter with precision, Mr. Finnegan imagined how this gesture might comfort grieving families. Perhaps it would even spark conversations about what it means to take care of one another in life and death alike. Little did he know that this engraved message would soon lead to unexpected interactions with a ghost who took its payment very seriously, one decimal point at a time. As the days passed, the townspeople of Willow Creek began to notice something strange about the coffin with "Rent Due" engraved on its lid. Whispers traveled through the town like a gentle breeze, with each person adding their own theories about what it meant. Children dared one another to approach the spooky shop after dark, believing that ghosts were indeed real and that this particular coffin held secrets. One evening, just as twilight blanketed the town, a glowing apparition appeared in Mr. Finnegan's workshop. With an ethereal glow, the ghost floated above the coffin, inspecting the inscription with great interest. It was the spirit of a long-lost townsman named Harold, who had always been known for his mischief and charm. Bound by some mysterious force, Harold discovered that he was required to pay rent for his eternal rest. How could a ghost pay rent? This was the question reverberating through Willow Creek. Each night, as the clock struck midnight, townsfolk claimed to see decimal points gliding across the coffin's lid and sinking deeper into the engraving. The phenomenon sparked wild imaginations. Some believed it was a form of currency from another realm, while others suggested it might represent time itself or even memories being collected. As curiosity grew and tales spread like wildfire, Mr. Finnegan remained oblivious to the burgeoning legend surrounding Harold's ghostly payments, a legend that would soon intertwine deeply with his own life and work. Every night, as darkness enveloped Willow Creek, something peculiar happened in Mr. Finnegan's workshop. Once the clock struck midnight, the air grew still with an almost magical tension. It was then that Harold, the ghostly tenant, would begin his unusual payments. The townsfolk, peering through cracks in the windows or hiding behind trees, claimed to witness an ethereal glow emanating from the coffin. As the soft light flickered, Harold would float above the lid, and with delicate precision, he would focus on the engraved numbers around "Rent Due." Those decimal points, once firmly etched, began to shimmer and shift as if alive. One by one, they would glide deeper into the wood, disappearing into the engraving as if being consumed. To those watching, it seemed like a haunting dance or perhaps a strange ritual. For Mr. Finnegan, who continued his nightly routine of crafting coffins and polishing wood, strange occurrences were starting to confuse him. He could have sworn that some mornings he noticed changes in the inscription but dismissed them as tricks of his imagination. The notion that a ghost was actually moving decimal points deeper felt far-fetched. This nightly spectacle not only kindled excitement among curious townsfolk but also sparked questions for Mr. Finnegan. What did it mean for a ghost to pay rent this way? And why had he unknowingly invited such a bizarre arrangement into his life? As mysteries unfolded under the moonlight, Harold remained bound to his ghostly duty, ensuring his presence lingered within the town's lore. As whispers of the strange happenings around Mr. Finnegan's coffin spread through Willow Creek, the town quickly became abuzz with excitement and speculation. Each morning, gossipers gathered at the local cafe, their conversations swirling like leaves in the autumn breeze. Some claimed they had witnessed the ghostly glow, while others insisted they heard eerie sounds drifting from the Undertaker's shop at midnight. Children dared each other to venture close to the workshop after dark, armed with flashlights and wild imaginations. They swapped tales about Harold, spinning stories that made him seem both mischievous and friendly. "He's just checking his rent," they would giggle, invoking both laughter and shivers among their friends. However, not everyone was amused by the situation. Some of the more superstitious townsfolk worried that the ghost and his nighttime payments might bring bad luck or even invite more spirits to haunt Willow Creek. They spoke in hushed tones about performing rituals to ward off these specters, fearing what could happen if too many restless souls gathered in one place. Meanwhile, Mr. Finnegan remained blissfully unaware of the frenzy surrounding his work. While he puzzled over the shifting inscriptions on the coffin, the townspeople were busy crafting their own narratives about him and his ghostly tenant. Rumors of hauntings turned into tales of Harold's playful nature, with some even suggesting that he could grant wishes to those brave enough to ask. The community's reactions only fueled curiosity, making the coffin a part of local lore that no one could resist discussing. As intrigue grew, it became clear that Mr. Finnegan's life was about to change forever. As days turned into weeks, Mr. Finnegan found himself increasingly puzzled by the changes he had been noticing on the coffin lid. Each morning, after a night of work, he would examine the engraving closely, trying to understand the subtle yet unmistakable shifts in the decimal points surrounding rent due. At first, he thought it was merely his imagination playing tricks on him, but as the patterns continued, he began to suspect something extraordinary was at hand. One night, while sitting in his workshop with a flickering candle casting shadows on the walls, Mr. Finnegan decided to take notes of the shifts. He meticulously recorded each decimal point's movement and the time it occurred. To his astonishment, he discovered that every night at precisely 12 o'clock, the points would glide down deeper into the wood, almost like they were dancing in rhythm to an unspoken melody. Intrigued, he began to question their significance. Was it a message from Harold? Or perhaps it represented something about life and death that he had yet to comprehend. The more he observed, the more he felt drawn into a mysterious puzzle that connected him to the ghostly tenant of the coffin. Determined to unravel this enigma, Mr. Finnegan started devising theories about why Harold performed these nightly rituals. With each passing evening, his curiosity transformed into a genuine quest for understanding, a journey that would inevitably lead him closer to both the ghost and the deeper meanings behind life's connections. As Mr. Finnegan delved deeper into the mystery of Harold and the shifting decimal points, he began to reflect on the larger themes of memory and legacy. The coffin, initially just a piece of craftsmanship, transformed into a symbol of the bonds that connect the living and the dead. Each night, as Harold dutifully paid his rent, it served as a reminder of all those who had come before, of lives lived and stories shared. The act of engraving rent due took on profound significance. It was not merely about a ghostly obligation. It symbolized the importance of honoring memories and ensuring that the legacies of loved ones remained alive in the hearts of those they left behind. Mr. Finnegan realized that every decorated coffin he created held not just the physical presence of a person, but also their essence, their passions, their joys, and their unfulfilled dreams. In Willow Creek, the townspeople's fascination with Harold's nightly payments spoke to their own struggles with grief and remembrance. Some were comforted by the idea that their loved ones could find peace, while others feared that forgetting would mean losing a part of themselves. As Mr. Finnegan worked through his discoveries, he began to see that how we treat those who have passed away affects how their memories live on. Through Harold's unique way of paying rent, he was reminded that honoring memories creates a bridge between past and present, a connection that is vital for healing and understanding in a community where history shapes their identity. One fateful night, with curiosity and determination boiling inside him, Mr. Finnegan decided it was time to confront Harold directly. Armed with the notes he had meticulously compiled and a flickering candle, he waited by the coffin as midnight approached. The air felt charged with anticipation, and an otherworldly silence enveloped the workshop, heightening his senses. As the clock struck 12, the familiar ghostly glow filled the room. Harold materialized above the coffin, floating gracefully while his luminous form shimmered gently in the dim light. With courage in his heart, Mr. Finnegan called out to him, "Harold, I need to understand your nightly rituals and what they mean." The ghost paused mid-movement, his features softening as he regarded the Undertaker's earnest expression. Slowly, Harold began to draw closer, and in that moment of connection, an unexpected revelation unfolded. Through a whisper that felt like a cool breeze brushing against Finnegan's ear, the spirit conveyed a message about the importance of paying attention to life's unfinished business. Harold explained that moving the decimal points deeper represented not only his way of honoring his own memories, but also a reminder for the living to reflect on their pasts, on lost opportunities and unfulfilled hopes. Each shift symbolized a chance to acknowledge those connections and keep them alive. With this newfound understanding, Mr. Finnegan realized that Harold's haunting was not just about rent. It was about healing, remembrance, and encouraging others to cherish their legacies. This revelation transformed their relationship into one of mutual respect and purpose, creating an unbreakable bond between the living and the dead. With the newfound understanding between Mr. Finnegan and Harold, they began to explore how to settle their unique arrangement peacefully. Mr. Finnegan realized that the nightly ritual was not merely about paying rent. It was a way for Harold to honor his past, and for Finnegan to acknowledge the importance of those memories. One evening, as they sat together in the flickering candlelight, Mr. Finnegan proposed an idea. "What if we create a special ceremony?" he suggested. "We can celebrate your life and all those who have come before us, where you can finally let go of your earthly ties." Harold's ghostly form shimmered with approval, and a sense of relief washed over him. The following week, Mr. Finnegan prepared a gathering in his workshop, inviting the townsfolk to join in a ceremony of remembrance. On the chosen night, families brought mementos of their loved ones, photos, letters, and small tokens that represented cherished memories. Together, they shared stories of those who had passed, creating a tapestry of laughter and tears woven through their shared history. As the final moments of the ceremony arrived, Mr. Finnegan turned to Harold and spoke softly. "You've paid your dues by reminding us of the importance of our connections." As he said this, the decimal points on the coffin lid began to glow one last time before settling into place with a gentle sigh. In that moment, Harold felt an immense weight lift from his spirit. The bond between them transformed into a lasting legacy, one that would continue to inspire others in Willow Creek to cherish their memories and honor those who came before them. With gratitude in their hearts, both Mr. Finnegan and Harold found closure, allowing them to move forward into a new chapter, one filled with understanding and peace. As the ceremony concluded and the townsfolk returned to their homes under the comforting glow of the moon, both Mr. Finnegan and Harold reflected on their remarkable journey. They had navigated the mysteries of life and death in unexpected ways, learning valuable lessons about the responsibility we hold to honor those who have touched our lives. For Mr. Finnegan, the experience taught him that every coffin he crafted was not merely a final resting place, but a testament to a life lived, a story waiting to be told. He now saw each engraving as a celebration of memories that deserved recognition, which inspired him to approach his work with renewed passion and care. No longer just an undertaker, he had become a guardian of legacies, tasked with helping families keep their loved ones' spirits alive through remembrance. Harold, on the other hand, found solace in the understanding that his lingering presence wasn't just an obligation but a chance for healing, not only for himself but also for the community. By moving those decimal points deeper into the wood, he had symbolized the importance of addressing unfinished business and cherishing connections even beyond death. In their whimsical arrangement of ghostly rent and heartfelt ceremonies, both Mr. Finnegan and Harold discovered that life is a tapestry woven with memories, responsibilities, and love, threads that connect generations, bridging the gap between living and departed. With each new dawn in Willow Creek, they embraced these lessons and found joy in honoring memories as a way to nurture life's most important relationships.